Hey guys, welcome back to the Bayside Fabrication YouTube channel. I'm chilling in my air-conditioned K-Swap 911 currently, and today's gonna be a big day actually. Right now, I'm just headed over to O'Reilly's to grab a fresh oil change, and then we're going to the dyno to turn this thing up a little bit. Now, I did have a slight issue last week. I changed the oil after running it for, I don't know, maybe 20 miles around the street, nothing super crazy, a couple small pulls, and there was a little bit more debris and sludge and particulates of crap in the filter than I really like to see. We're thinking that's just from the engine sitting there and potentially from the old oil pan or the modified oil pan I was using, maybe up in the chambers. I couldn't quite clean everything out. So what I ultimately did is I ditched the oil cooler and put the stock oil pan back on, and we're gonna see how that goes. So I think that was the issue. I just did an oil change last night and it looked excellent. So I'm gonna drive it right now with some crummy oil in it to the O'Reilly's, and we'll get a fresh oil change in this, load it up in the trailer, and then head over to Full Throttle Performance, see our buddy Ricardo, and we're gonna throw this thing on the dyno. Super excited to see what it does, so stay tuned guys. All right guys, we're here at Full Throttle Performance. Check them out. If you're in the Tampa Bay area, check out Ricardo. His shop's awesome. Right now, we're just getting some heat into the motor. So that's all we're doing. So Luke's getting her warmed up, getting the oil up to temp. We're all strapped down. Gotta be ready to roll soon. Luke, how you feeling, bud?
Okay, I'm excited.
Super excited. So we just put some E85 in it, and yeah, like I said, we're just getting the engine up to temp. And I think everything's pretty much dialed, so we're just gonna make a pull, see where it's at, and then go from there. And just confirmed, we are running on a dyno jet today. So that's what we ran on. We actually ran this exact dyno last time to test the stock horsepower. It was 256, I believe it was, on the stock M96 motor.
Find his file.
We'll see. That sounded good. That sounded good.
Yeah.
Sounded really good.
Sound healthy.
What do you think? 333 horsepower?
Not on that rip, I don't think.
All right, guys. So we actually had a little mishap. We didn't calibrate it on the last one, so we got to calibrate the dyno, and then we'll do another pull here as a baseline.
Oil pressure's like almost 100 psi.
100 psi?
Yeah.
Which probably that sensor is a 100 psi sensor, so
It's 150.
Oh, is it? Okay, because
100. So that's with 2050 weight
Yeah, but it's not.
plus new oil pump.
It's not dropping at all.
It didn't do any of that weird stuff.
No. But it's channel.
Like I said, just going back to basics, I think was the move, man.
I agree, man.
yeah, a lot of times adding all this stuff, like we had a car on the dyno the other day, and I couldn't figure out for the life of me, same thing. And dude had like one of those, I don't want to say it in a mean way, but it had like an oil cooler with the lines hanging out the bumper mounted in front of the car.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, the sensor was like going all over the place.
Yeah, ours would.
Finally, I had him remove all that and put it back. Oil pressure was perfect.
Ours would come up, and then once we hit like what 5,000 RPM, it just it fluctuated like 5 psi.
Yeah.
But it was doing
this
doing
one
a
was,
wave.
See, 5 psi wouldn't be too.
What did it make?
334.
509 foot-pounds of torque.
Yeah, we can't go by that. We never calibrated the RPM.
I know. Hey, what did I say? 333 horsepower?
Yeah, I'm gonna make a full rip.
Yeah, so before you do a full rip, let's
So that last rip, the torque wasn't calibrated. So So that last rip we did, the torque wasn't calibrated, but the horsepower was. We had 334 horsepower. My guess was 333 because it felt just as fast as my E30. One horsepower off. All right, so we just made 334. That's no VTEC, no VTC engaged at all. So that's a really healthy baseline. 332 horsepower, 289 torque. No VTEC on that one or anything?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see it. All right, so what we're doing, that last rip, I was at 12 pounds of boost. So right now, Luke is messing around with the intake cam gear, and we're dropping it down to 10 pounds, and he's got to play with the cam gear and see what that gets us. So here we go. So that one made 289. So that was at 10 pounds of boost. So we dropped down. So that was at 10 pounds of boost and made 289. But Luke's messing with the VCT gear right now. So we're gonna try to get that worked out, and then we'll go up from there. Actually, he's gotta get the VCT gear worked out, and then he's gotta move into VTEC, and then we'll start adding on boost once we get our baseline VCT and our VTEC dialed in. All right, this pull right here is going to be VTEC engaged. So it's the first VTEC pull we're going to make. And if Luke has everything sorted out, which I'm pretty sure he does, it will overlap right as soon as that, or right before that VTC gear starts falling off. So let's see what it does. You could see the car squat when it freaking ripped, dude.
Just like randomly just pow like that. Yeah, look at the fucking...
Yeah.
It went good and it just jumped up and down. Alright,
So just with VTEC,
yep.
337, 286. Look at that graph though, freaking.
It's about to get better. Dude, when VTEC hit, it picked up 49 horsepower.
49 horsepower. That's awesome. That's crazy. Still 10 pounds of boost.
Yeah, still 10 pounds of boost.
That's...
Like, dude, right here,
Yeah.
250 horsepower, 299.
That's...
I need to bring it further back. It came out later.
So that's as you saw in that graph, the VTEC, I mean, picked up 40, almost 50 horsepower. So Luke's actually gonna have it kick in a little bit sooner, so it's more of a gradual increase. So what I think is happening is the turbo spooled probably a little bit before that. So once it kicked on, it really just spooled the turbo up much faster. So he said he's going to try to activate it a little bit sooner. So now Luke's got to engage the VTEC at 5,000 RPM. It was at 5,500. See what she does. Sounded like it like that. obviously see the pink here, where it picked up significantly. Turn it up a little bit. So that was 13 pounds of boost. We're gonna shoot for a little bit more. Alright guys, so we're just running into a little hiccup here that we're going to try to resolve. You can see how the power comes in nice and strong, smooth, and then it starts getting wavy. We're not really sure what that is at this moment. Could be a clutch slipping, it could be a number of things, but we're going to I'm going to let Luke work his brilliance here and figure out what the issue may be, and we'll go from there. So other than that, everything's looking great. I mean, you know, 400 horsepower car right now. He's got to go to 4750 on the VTEC, and then he's got to add a little more timing, and the goal is to smooth this line out right here. So we weren't sure what was going on, but he added a little more timing, and it compared to the red, obviously, line, which was the pull before, you know, it definitely smoothed it out. So we're going to see how it goes. But yeah, we're gonna see if we can kick that VTEC on a little bit earlier. That ramp into the VTEC seems to be the sweet spot, huh?
Like it's really rough.
What? Oh, the way it kicks in? Oh, it's a 72 millimeter turbo, dude. So I noticed the line the pull before that was a little smoother.
Yeah.
That shakiness. You can see the VTEC. I mean, when it kicks in, it's freaking serious. So he had it in at 4750. And I mean, it rips. And then, you know, it's more of a curve like this and then flat, as opposed to straight up. Big turbo life. Go lean on you?
Boost cut.
Oh,
Too much sauce.
too much sauce. I heard it. It sounded like it was boosting pretty hard.
It was coming up and then it wasn't.
We just hit boost cut on that one. Made 449, 371. $485, dude. Was that a good oh shit or a bad oh shit?
And you didn't even rev it all the way. No, I didn't.
No. They let off at like 7,200.
Yeah.
It's still got that weird dip around 64. All right, guys, so we're at 18 pounds of boost, and we're gonna leave it there for now because the power looks right. Luke's working on figuring out the that wave in the dyno chart, or in the dyno graph there. He's pretty sure it's the VTC. We're commanding, so think of the intake cam, we're commanding it to go to a certain point, but it's, we believe the oil is so hot and everything at this point that it's just not locking it. So the cam essentially is advancing and then it's going like this and trying to, you know, square itself away. So it's not really holding it as well as it should be. So that's the theory at least. So he's messing with the VTC. And we'll see how it goes. All right, guys, this is gonna be one of the last few pulls here. We're really happy with this power level. Luke can see that the VCT gear is still moving around. So we're gonna try to That sounded like a lot of boost.
It was a lot of, what's a lot? I'm not sure why.
556. Ah, damn, boy.
What did you do? Did you add boost?
Look at it though. Watch it. It's smooth as silk. Yeah,
I thought we were playing with the VCT. What happened?
I don't know, but look at it. You see what I was talking about? Smooth. The turbo's efficient.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if the motor will live very long at 556 horsepower.
Probably not. I mean, that's riding the edge, you know. Hey, we just made 556.
Yeah, I know. I'm not very happy about that. I should be, but I'm not.
Did you hit boost cut?
Hell yeah, I did.
What happened?
You know what? I had a little too much percentage up top, I guess, like 3% too much.
Oh, on the duty of the... Oh.
The joys of the full port, my man.
I thought you weren't playing with the boost at all. That's why I was like...
I had to, because I needed, you know, it's like you add 1% and it's like 6 pounds of boost sometimes.
On the 4-port?
Full port, man.
So you just added what you thought was a small amount.
A lot amount.
Look at that curve, though.
I was like, oh shit.
I thought I was about to jump off the dyno, dude. I was like, what's happening?
This sounds like it's doing a lot more right now.
Oh, man. So what just happened there, we just made 556 horsepower. But what happened was the Luke added just a small amount of duty to the boost controller. So what he essentially was doing was looking to increase it and then kind of decrease the duty cycle on the boost controller at the higher RPMs to almost chill out the boost as it goes up in RPM, if that makes any sense. But with the 4-port, you add like, I don't know, 1 or 2%. It depends on what, you know, the 4-port and how it's set up and everything, but that 1 or 2% could be 5-6 PSI. You don't almost really know what it's gonna be until you do a bunch of trial and error. So he added like, I don't know, I think he just set a couple percent to it, 3% or something, and it made a lot of boost. So yeah. You can see on the graph though where it wanted to take off. I mean, this turbo I think is just too big for this motor, but you can see how smooth it is. I mean, this thing just wants to go at that point. So hit the boost cut right there. You say the boost cut's at 25 pounds?
Yes, sir. It would be 28.
It'd be 28 pounds.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Bro, I was like, oh my god, how big is
So what'd you add? Like 3%?
Dude, yeah, I just pulled 5% from the top now, man. I'm like, way the fuck down.
Yeah, that was... Dude. That was on a run to be like 700 or 800 horsepower.
Yeah.
If the motor would be able to handle it. All right, guys, this looks like it'll probably be our final pull of the day. Luke pulled a little duty out of the boost controller. We're gonna do a 4th gear pull now. We were doing 3rd just because the wheel speed on this thing is incredible at, you know, 3rd, 4th gear. So we're gonna put a little more load on it and just to make sure everything's cool, but I'm happy with the way things are. We're thinking the turbo might be just a little bit out of its efficiency range as far as it's a little too big. When we were on that 550 horsepower rip or whatever it was, that was looking, everything was looking beautiful with it. So I think I probably just have honestly oversized the turbo slightly and it's not happy. Like this turbo wants to live at like 25 plus PSI is where it's really happy. So we're gonna do a 4th gear pull here and see how it looks. Ricardo's just recalibrating it right now. Hundo. Okay. So that was 4th gear, made 400. He's got to pull the boost back to where it was. He took some out of it. So we're gonna put the boost back where it was, do another 4th gear rip, see how it goes. All right guys, we're gonna call it here. We're gonna do another pull, but I mean, how many pulls have we done today? 20? 15? 15, yeah. So the only thing we still have is that little waviness up top, but I think we're just chasing our tails on that. We're kind of coming to the conclusion that the turbo is probably out of its power band, or not in its efficiency range.
It's not an efficiency range for sure.
Yeah, so it's too big of a turbo for this motor right now and our power levels that we can achieve. I mean, this block can only handle 500, maybe to 600.
I've seen 600, 700 out of the stock block. But,
yeah, but how long?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I mean, we're on our way to make a record-setting run then.
Yeah, we were on our way to make a record-setting run. But we're gonna call it today. 450 plus horsepower is plenty for a street car. It's super heat soaked right now, so I'm sure on a fresh day, this thing is gonna be living right at, 450, 500-ish, depending on temperature and things like that. So we're gonna strap it, take it for a ride down the road, and that's gonna be that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Can you hold this?
Yeah.
This is ridiculous, man. Good.
What was that? 4-port?
Yes, sir.
It did feel pretty nuts, like it was going to be nuts.
It was going to be good. Much better.
That feels better.
Yeah, that felt much better. Controllable.
Yes. That's the thing about where the engine is in this car, man. It just hooks up. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for today. That's gonna do it for this quick test rip. Unfortunately, I'm out of time. But man, it's a ripper right now. All right, Luke. So we're ending this off today. Thank you so much. Dude. You killed it, of course. Of course you did. So we're running at like high 400s, mid-high 400s probably.
Yeah, we're right at our target of 450,
Yeah.
500 for a stock engine. On the dyno, it made 480, so.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, I can't do too much street driving because it's super busy right now and it's just nuts, but it feels fast.
It feels good.
All right, unfortunately, I had to cut that video kind of short. It was 5 o'clock on a Friday. Traffic was mayhem. Had to pick my daughter up from daycare, load the car back in the trailer, et cetera, et cetera. So, yeah, I mean, the car's ripping and, I'm pretty fired up. We definitely hit our goal. I want to make around 500 horsepower because that's what the stock motor can take. A couple things I did learn is that I think the turbo is a little bit too big for that car, and it's, just as you saw in the graph, it did hit its efficiency where you could just see how smooth it was, and it was, beautiful looking graph before it hit the boost cut. So I think the turbo is just a little big for how much power that can take. With that being said, I think it would be a good pair with my built block, and but yeah, for now I just want to drive it around about that 450, 500 horsepower level and just have a car that I can drive and, enjoy on the street. and just put some hours into and, you know, rip around it and have fun with. Button up a lot of the smaller issues, get the AC like, you know, tied into the Haltech, get the diffuser bolted on, you know, just kind of get the car a little more well-rounded before we start going further into power goals and things like that. So super happy with how it turned out. Everything looks great, and I'm just fired up to make a few rips and things. So stay tuned for the next one. I'm gonna try to take it out in the street a little bit and go from there and see what it can do. So see you on the next one, guys. Thanks very much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more updates.